Hey guys, this is Michelle, and today we have Serena on, and she owns Hello Retail Therapy in Pooler, Georgia. She's a new business owner, and I train all of these spray tan gals and mentor them through a new business, and I think it's really cool to hear a different perspective from a different business, and definitely from a retail aspect. And I'm so proud of her for taking a risk on herself. She left a job that she wasn't necessarily happy with and just took a risk and had the courage to open up something. And retail of all things is so hard, and she's doing a great job. She's brought in a lot of local brands, including mine. So I think it's really good if you're thinking about owning a business or you really want to change in your life. I think it's good to hear the beginning stages, because we've had a lot of established businesses on here who we all know and love so well, and we've heard their struggles, but I think it's really good to have a fresh start business owner who came out of being a nurse and is excited about this. And let's just cheer on. It takes a lot of courage to do something like this, and I really wanted to have her voice heard on here. I think it's just good to get a perspective of a brand new owner as they navigate this new venture, this new journey that they're on. And I know she'll inspire a lot of my spray tan partners that are on their new journey, and maybe some of you who are thinking about it, or maybe some of you who are established and it just might hit a sweet spot. So you'll enjoy. Her name's Serena. Hello everyone, welcome to the Beet Goes On Podcast. I am here with Serena. She's the owner of Hello Retail Therapy in Pooler. We're so happy to have her on. She's a local. She carries local stuff, so let's get right into it.
Hey, my name's Serena. So I've been an ICU nurse for the last 13 years, and then it was about a year ago in April, I decided that it was time to switch up the business and open up a shop.
Was it after COVID? Was it ever such a rough year?
It always kind of started even before COVID, but then COVID helped
push along. Yeah. I love to hear when entrepreneurs take something, like, want to change and just do it. I mean, you went a whole different direction. Owning a business is hard.
Yes.
Retail is hard.
Yes.
So tell us about Hello, and I love the name. So tell us why the name, and a little bit about
Sure. So
the biz.
The name actually came when I was in Costco with my sister and my niece. We were having a pizza break, and we're talking about the shop name and trying to figure out what to call it. And my niece was just like, "Hello," like to me, like to get my attention. And I was like,
yeah,
oh, that like really got my attention. And we can say hello to everyone that comes in the shop. Like, this is perfect. And then we needed another little name to be like, what are we saying hello to? And it just, retail therapy just kind of fit, especially after being a nurse for so long. I figured everyone needed a little therapy.
Yes, and we needed to go into a local shop, and I don't know if we mentioned this yet, but she's in Pooler, which is right outside of Savannah, and Pooler is growing rapidly and massively, and I think it's really important, because it is so generic, that we have these local faces in these stores, and I'd like to get some tips. Beettan's doing some retail stuff here downtown now, and I'm service-based first with the spray tan, so I'd love some retail therapy. We'll just call it a whole different retail therapy. Some therapy from you. How has it been since? So 2022 you opened. Or was
yes. So December 15th was my actual official opening day. Oh, wow. Yeah. So
fresh.
Not for barely 5 months.
Yeah. So how's it going so far?
It's good. It's been a lot of growing pains.
Yeah.
It was a weird time to open. I tried to get open in October, just before like the Christmas rush and all that. And unfortunately, with construction things and stuff like that, it just
out of your control.
Yeah.
So what'd you do during that? Like, I know with me, that's the out of control stuff is what drives me insane. How do you give yourself some therapy? Yeah. We'll just keep using that word. Well, through those hard times, because I know there are business owners now. There are people who are thinking about doing it. So if you could just talk that person with you, like a dream who wants to change, like what, nothing is peachy keen. Like, it doesn't happen like that.
No, it doesn't.
So walk us through that.
Well, I'm very lucky that my family is really into businesses as well.
So you have some mentors.
So they have some restaurants in town. And so it's been in my family for forever. Like, I was brought up in a restaurant. So it's always been family business first. And so it was very helpful to have that grounding with my mom and my sister and everybody being like, okay, this is just what that's it. Just, it's fine. Yeah. It'll get there. You just need to chill out. And I'm like, okay. And I think being a nurse for so long.
Let's highlight that. Yeah. That's what I have to do a lot. But yeah, I mean, you're eager, you're ready to do it.
Oh, yeah. I was completely ready. I was ready to be open in October.
But I love how
I had everything.
And it was out of your control. You couldn't do it.
Completely
construction.
out. Yeah.
Was it permits too? I know. Or was it just mostly?
No, it was mostly just
contractors.
Getting the stuff. I had a contractor. He's great. We had no issues there, but it was getting the supplies. There was a big thing with like air conditioning. There was a big thing with like trim. It was just
like dumb little
drywall.
The stuff you don't think about.
Right.
And you're like, wait, we're being held up because of drywall? What the heck?
He was like, they're having a shortage on people who can put up drywall. And I'm like, can I do it?
Yeah, that's what I would have said. Let's YouTube this.
Literally, I was like, I can get on the ladder. And he's like, you cannot. No. I'm like,
okay, so you're supposed to open up October, stretch to December. Is there any part of you now that is grateful that it was December over October?
I don't know.
You're like,
not
damn,
really.
I missed that holiday rush.
That was what was crazy. So being open 10 days before Christmas, it was like nuts.
Oh, wow.
Which is great.
So you had to figure it out fast.
Yeah, and it was great that we had so many people come in only in those 10 days, because a little bit of word of mouth and just from like friends in town coming to support and like seeing all the, I like to say I have really cute stuff. So seeing all the cute stuff that's in the shop, they wanted to buy stuff, which is great.
Yeah, it feels good when you pick out something and then people like it.
For
That's
sure.
how I feel at the shop.
Yeah. Because I love shopping.
And then the stuff I think they would like, I'm like, why is it still sitting there?
Me too. Or something that someone convinced me that needs to be in the shop. And I'm like, okay, fine. And I don't love it. They're like, someone will love it.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no, they won't. And then it's like the first thing to go. And I'm like, fine.
So do you pick up gifts or is there a little something for everybody? So what kind of things do you pick out at Hello Retail Therapy? Like what do you have?
Yeah, so stuff that you can gift and the stuff that I think people would like for themselves as well. So I have Beettan.
Oh,
there.
I love it.
Don't know if you knew that.
I did know that. Yeah. I saw it. Well, it's funny because when I found out about, because, Ain't Life Crazy, Small World, Missy mentioned you, and I was like, I see that name pop through, and that's why.
Yeah.
Because I still like to look at, I love business owners and wholesale, even though, I make less with wholesale. It's my favorite. It's a better, direct to consumer. It's a better customer to me because they're business owners too, so they get it.
Right.
They're more patient.
Yeah.
Where Amazon has kind of ruined it.
Yeah. It's
for the direct to consumer, because you can cancel and get a refund at the snap of a finger and just click of a button. It's on its way. Yeah. So that's. They forget that there's just us little guys out there.
Yeah, for sure.
There's a lot more love put into ours.
Yeah, and with the local community too. So I don't know if you remember this, but you're friends with a girl that I used to work with.
Who?
Melena.
Yes, I love Melena. She listens to the podcast. Hey, Melena.
Hi, Melena. I haven't talked to her in a while, but
I saw her yesterday. I had lunch with her yesterday.
Did?
I'll tell her.
Miss her.
Yeah, I'm gonna tell her to listen to this.
Please
episode.
do.
Yeah.
Hi. But I remember because when I was planning out the shop, I knew I wanted some local representation in there as well. You were like literally the first thing on my list. I was like, oh, Beettan.
Oh my gosh, you have no idea how happy that makes me. That's so
it really,
cool.
like truly. And I talked to you on the phone. You probably don't remember this because I know you're really busy. I talked to you on the phone.
I'm also very like 2 seconds later, it's gone, girl.
Me too.
Out the brain. So I love everyone, but my brain is weird.
It has to be weird to run businesses, though. You can't have a normal, I
definitely
brain
don't
that
have
does,
a normal brain.
because it has to go in so many different directions. You know what I mean? It's just, I think that's a business brain.
But okay, so we spoke on the phone. It'll probably, re-jog my memory, I'm sure.
No, you're fine. Melina and I were at work, and then, because I remember her mentioning you before, and I was like, I need to call her, or who do I call? Like, how do I get in touch with her? She goes, girl, I got you. She literally takes her phone out, calls you, in the middle of work. And I'm like, okay, here we go.
She's so cute, too.
She is.
Melena, I just have to have her on here so people can hear that southern twang. I have a twang, but she has a whole twangy twang.
She does.
She's so
does.
cute.
I
She's
love
so
her.
sweet. She has a big heart.
She does.
So you've been open since December. Things are going good. Did it pick up during spring?
Yeah. So that's the crazy part. What I learned really quickly about retail that I didn't realize this before, because restaurant business is pretty stable. Nursing is very stable. You know, we have the flu
Retail's
season or whatever.
Thing.
Girl. So
and it's a lot of social media and interaction with your community. You're doing the right thing though, because you said you went to Noble Roots to was it a chamber event?
Yeah, with the Boulder
Yeah, so
chamber.
you're doing the right thing.
Yeah.
I mean, not that I know it all, but that's how I think the Beettan brand grew. I mean, now, we're all over, but in the beginning, it was just from me showing up to community functions, always giving a gift card to any charity event. So, I mean, the fact that you're doing that, even though sometimes it seems like a bust, because I know it will, you just never know who you made an impression on. I found that many, many times and still do.
Yeah. No, you're right. But I quickly learned that retail is very up and down. January was so quiet.
Oh,
and I was like...
Because they spent all their money in December.
Right. And I didn't think about that.
Yeah.
Even though I've been a consumer for my whole life, obviously. But I was like, where did everybody go? Like, they just didn't show up anymore.
Yeah, you're like, craziness, then it's kind of like the resting time that I find at the store. Like, it's when I clean and restock stuff.
Yes.
And I'll have to put you in touch with some of my friends that have been doing it for 10 or more years. Just in this area. I think it's good to know you're not the only one.
Right. Well, and that's what has been beautiful about being a local retailer?
Yeah, I think retailer.
Yeah.
I was like, you're a realtor too? Me too.
No. I just can't speak.
I'm saying.
But
it's Monday.
Right. But like especially the local people that have little shops too, and I'm sure we can talk about it too for hours. But
absolutely.
Like, Marguerite with Peth,
yes.
She came and dropped some stuff off the other day.
Her stuff sells. Her stuff is so good. It does.
But I talked her ear off about like having a shop.
And she's so good.
She is.
She's I've said it a million times on this podcast. We have the best women in the city. Mm-hmm. We have the best community.
Yes.
I mean, hands down. I haven't even mentioned Marguerite yet. Like, she's amazing. I could go on and on and on about the local gals.
Yeah.
But let's take a little break. Sponsored by Beettan, always. And we'll come back and talk more.
Summer is finally here, and everyone wants that perfect tan. But why put your skin at risk of sun damage and aging when you can get a gorgeous glow the safe way with Beettan? Our organic formula derived from beets gives you a flawless and natural-looking tan without any harsh chemicals or UV exposure. Plus, it's fun and easy. And if you want to join the Beettan team, we're hiring. We're looking for spray tan technicians and administrative help. Submit your resume to hello@beettan.com and join our fun and exciting team. Have a safe and fabulous summer with Beettan. Let's get glowing. Visit us today at beettan.com.
And we're back. So I just want to jump right into it. I want you to tell everyone, first and foremost, where you are located, because it is hard in Pooler with retail. Retail's already hard. Like, half of them, I don't know the exact percentage, but something like around the 50% mark fail or like close. So retail's hard to begin with, not to like scare you with those numbers. Hello, welcome to the retail world. But also Pooler's a bit different because Savannah is more touristy,
yes.
The downtown area. But how, like, Pooler has a lot more people, so you got to get the foot traffic there. So tell us where your store is and why you chose Pooler.
So I'm right at the corner of Pooler Parkway and Pine Barren.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look out my windows, you see the side of Lowe's.
Lowe's is right there, yeah. There's a lot of neighborhoods right there. So
there are.
Savannah
Quarters
is right there. And then there's that cute neighborhood, Harmony something that's behind it. My friend used to live there.
Oh, yeah. And there's a bunch of houses down Pine Barren on both sides. So I'm kind of... it's a little bit quiet where I am, only because there's not a whole lot around me. Like, if you have to stop at my shop to come to my shop. Like, it's not like going to the outlets where you're walking around and you see me and come in. And I did that pretty much on purpose because for some people, they want the convenience of not having to drive to the outlets and go through the park, like walk halfway through. I mean,
Tinker outlets are great and all, but it can get stressful. It's a lot of walking.
It's a lot of walking. It's a lot of cars.
Yeah.
Going in and out and everything. So it's easy to get to me.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so I'm a little closer to like Lowe's and like Costco and stuff like that. And I guess in my mind, I don't know if this is a good business way to do it, but I was like, well, if people know about me, they'll want to come to me. And it's still pretty convenient because I'm right off of Pooler Parkway.
Right.
And then with Pine Barren, it goes down to Highway 80 easily.
So right. So you just got to get the word out there. So For all of you that live in Pooler or travel that way often, I know exactly where she's talking about. It's actually pretty conveniently located. If you know where Lowe's and Costco is, Costco, everyone goes there. Everyone loves that place. So what can they go in and find? Like I as far as like gifts go, like what all, is it a one-stop shop? Do you have many things? I know you have Beettan.
I do.
So you can get your self-tanner there. Yeah. But what else do you have? Like, is it like a grabbing pretty much anything?
Yes, pretty much. So I'll start with kind of the beauty section since we're talking about Beettan.
Yes.
So I have a good amount of your stuff too. So you're on the shelf in my little beauty section. So there I have, I'm a really big fan of K-Beauty, like all things Asian.
Yeah.
People can't see.
Well, they
Asian.
make the best beauty products out there.
They do.
Because they care more about their skin than anyone else there.
So the reason I love Beettan so much is because it's self-tanner and you're not in the sun. And I love Korean sunscreen. Mm-hmm. So I have a good variety.
And they do sunscreen the best.
They do. It's not oily. It's just great. So
what is the big brand that's always at the mall?
There's a lot of them.
I know. It's always
Dr. Jart was a big one in Sephora.
I'll remember it in a minute.
Okay.
I wish Amanda was in here because Amanda's my right-hand woman with Beettan. She has a whole cosmetic background.
So I have some health and beauty stuff from like Savannah Bee as well, like their lotions and stuff like that. So there's that whole section. And then if you move down a little bit further, I have what I call my pantry. So it's other locals, like so Marguerite's there with her infusions. Rootman is there with his shrubs.
Oh, his stuff is so good.
It is. And he's so nice too.
And what a good matchup with Marguerite.
So they're right next to each other.
I'll have to introduce you to Kristen Hockerud with Capital B too. That's another popular bee company.
Yeah.
And they, I feel like it's like the yin and yang. Like they're different than Savannah Bee, but their stuff's really, really good.
Okay.
As far as their lotions and things like that too. So they go hand, just like Marguerite.
Right.
What is his name?
Sydney.
Oh my gosh, he would kill me. He used to be my bartender at Wild Wing.
Really?
But the guy knows his drinks. Like he is a mixologist for sure. He knows his drinks. So you've got that section.
Yeah, and then
which those are great gifts, guys.
They are. They are for sure. And then with that, I have other brands that also do like drink mixes, and then I have like James and Jellies from Stonewall Kitchen. You move a little further, there's like the stationery section. I love rifle paper. I have rugs. I have everything. So I have rifle paper there. I have all the candles. So I do Voluspa, which is, they do a lot in Anthropologie and like Nordstrom.
Yeah, they smell amazing. And they're beautiful.
They are. Their packaging is gorgeous and they burn really well.
Yes.
So it's not like sooty.
No, I love those candles.
Yeah.
I haven't had one in a minute, but now I know where to get it.
Well, should have brought you one.
I know, darn it. I do. I haven't seen those I used to live on Congress, so I used to pop in Anthropologie all the time, but I'd much rather come to the local spot.
Thanks. I'd love to have you.
Yes, I'll come in.
So I also have like Capri Blue and stuff like that too. I have some baby gifts as well, so like little onesies and blankets and stuff like that. And then I have a little corner of clothing that I haven't quite figured out yet.
That's hard.
It is
You have
hard.
to do sizing. I know, girl, I'm right there with you with Beettan. I'll tell you what, for me, which is probably because of the spray tan, but like the jumpers and rompers, like the easy put on, put off things.
They don't have to fit.
Or the wrap, or like the covers.
Oh, yeah.
Do really well.
Yeah.
And then you have permanent jewelry.
I do. So I do a couple of services. You talked about service-based in your store.
That's so smart to do.
I have permanent jewelry, and I also, after being a nurse, I can pierce ears with like this medical system. So permanent jewelry is offered in the shop. And
if you don't know what permanent jewelry is, it's not a tattoo.
People ask that all the time.
All the time, I know, because I had someone ask me that recently. It's you don't need a clasp; it stays on you.
Right. So the it's called a jump ring. Basically, gets kind of welded together so that there's no opening to it, and it just stays on all the time. But it's very easy to get it off as well.
Right. So you would do like a simple chain that would go well with everything.
Right.
That
Correct.
you would keep on all the time, so you don't have to turn it, clasp it on and off or lose it, rather. So I love the concept of that. I'm not a big jewelry wearer. Why is that so hard for me to say with my lips today?
Realtor.
I know words, but I like it because I don't have to think about it. It's on my body,
Right.
and it's already. It's there, and you can go have it removed or changed anytime, correct?
Right, yes. And I call it your easiest accessory. So along with the permanent jewelry, I do ear piercing. It is with a gun. People do ask me that. And because of that, I only do lobes. I won't do cartilage piercing just because I've done some research and it's a little bit safer to use a needle, honestly. And my theory is...
Do you have an age preference for...
No.
So you'll let the kid...
Yeah.
Cool.
I've done a baby. They need to be old enough to have their, like the first set of shots or whatever, have their immunizations.
Exactly.
So usually about 6 months.
Okay, cool. So everybody, I know that's like a big thing for birthdays. And it was for, is that still a thing? Like it was for me growing up, like when... That's what a lot of the little girl I asked for as a little girl was to get my ears pierced.
Yeah.
And it's much better to go to a local than the teenager doing it at Claire's.
That's what everybody else says too. And I feel kind of bad about saying that, but they're like, I trust you more than them. I'm like, okay, thanks.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. You're a nurse.
Yeah. So the good thing is the system,
If you want a nurse piercing your kids' ears,
yes. And
go
even
to Hello Retail Therapy because that's who I would rather go to.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
But I am very conscientious about stuff.
Good.
So like right before I pierced this woman's ears the other day, I was like, oh, there's a little bump here. What is this? Because, if there's even a little like pimple, I can't, I need that to heal.
Yeah.
I need to make sure there's not going to be an infection. So they think I'm just cleaning them with alcohol, but I really am actually assessing the ears to make sure that it would be okay to pierce. And then all of this piercing studs are used with either medical grade plastic or titanium. Mm-hmm. It's to help people not develop a nickel allergy as their ears heal up and stuff. So this system's used at like pediatricians' offices. Mm-hmm. It's only used by nurses. And so I really like it. That's really
good to know.
Yeah. So.
That's really important to know. We need to make sure that we highlight that because I don't think that there are very many places to get piercings.
No.
Other than tattoo shops. And for little girls, like you...
Right.
I'm full of tattoos, but I don't know that that's a good, the most fun environment. Like your environment is so fun. They have other things that they can pick out. So that's way better. And I love that you could just come in. I love that you have a service that's so smart.
Oh, good. I thought I was going crazy and being like, I'm adding all this stuff in that I may not
My friend Emily, who's had a store for 10 years, told me she gets so jealous that I have a service because I have other ways to bring people in when times are slow. And so people come to services even when they're not shopping for gifts. It's not a gift season.
That's true.
Or a season change or whatever.
Yeah.
A service is always needed.
Right.
Like people who are looking for a service will go and then they'll pick up other things.
Right.
Otherwise, they have to just float in for some retail reason.
Right. And that's kind of why I do a lot of like pop-ups and events at the shop too. Mm-hmm. So I've had Kelly with Beettan in Pooler. Love her.
Oh my gosh, her
much.
Personality is magnetic.
Her daughter, I love her too.
Same. They were two peas in a pod.
So she comes to the shop. She's been there a few times to set up for me and does like pop-ups. And then we're going to plan on, I haven't asked her yet, but plan on doing a couple more in the summer, hopefully.
Yeah, I'm sure she will. She's great.
And then I'm sure you know Alexia too. So she does glam strands.
Yep, I have them in my hair.
I had to cut mine out for a wedding.
Time to re-up. But...
Agreed. And then, so I'm doing like a Botox party coming up soon. So,
gotcha.
Yeah. Well, I don't know. We may do some Christmas in July or something. I don't know what that means, but we'll do something.
And you know what? Sometimes you'll have an event and not that many people show up, but it's still everyone promoting the business that you collaborate with that promotes it.
Right.
It's just self-aware.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you get a little down, but I used to be like, oh my God, no one showed up and blah, blah, blah. But then I would see the ripple effect of it later. Like, oh yeah, I saw so-and-so was at your shop. Sorry I couldn't make it.
Right.
It happens. You just don't realize what's happening.
For sure. And Kelly has been great with talking me down when it comes to stuff like that.
Oh, she's so
I'll be
great.
like, oh my God, it's so slow. No one came. I'm so sorry. And she's like, girl, we just gotta show up. I'm like, okay. And then to talk about like neighbors too, there's a salon that's down the street. They're doing their 1-year party in June. So I'm going to be there. I'm doing ear piercing there and then bringing some stuff. It's Full Bloom Salon.
Yes.
So,
I know exactly. That's such a good idea. Well, you're already on the right track. I know that you're going to be successful just with all the footwork that you're doing. Mm-hmm. You're not just sitting there posting on social media expecting for things to happen. You're getting involved in the community, and I've heard nothing but good things so far. Do you have any funny stories?
I guess my funny stories probably wouldn't be funny to people because it's when my sisters and my mom are there with me and we get into like little like tiffs and stuff. It just makes me laugh. And I feel bad because I'm always like, funny. Mom, I'm like, And so I tell the poor customers, I'm like, sorry about my mom, but I get what I pay for. And they kind of look at me and I'm like, because I don't pay her at all. And they're like, okay. I'm like,
no, that is funny. And it's a way to be just real, authentically you. And, sometimes we argue with family members. In fact, before you got here, I was arguing with my son.
oh, great. Yeah. We do that all the time.
Yeah. He's in town. He's like, Mom, can I help this weekend? Because I'm paying for college and helping with apartments.
Right.
And he's chipping into, he's 21.
Yeah.
But he was like, can I help? And he's helped for like 2 hours of the whole weekend. So, yeah. I know exactly what you're talking about arguing. I had to argue in front of my staff, in front of the Beettan team,
But that's life, though.
And they laughed. Mm-hmm. So it is kind of funny. Yeah. So I guess we have the same sense of humor. Yeah. It's like, it is what it is. You can get all worked up about it or laugh about it.
Right.
I think that's actually the best advice you could give everyone is when it seems tough, just like take a deep breath and focus on the positive. And I always tell my son, it'll be funny later. You're worried about it now, but one day it'll be funny. It'll be like you won't care as much. Like
for sure.
The sheetrock, like we laughed about. Like there was a shortage of sheetrock.
Right.
Who knew? You have all your ducks in a row, and then there we are.
Yeah, things out of your control, but it's fine.
Held up months later for simple things like sheetrock.
Right. And it still worked out, so I'm not, it's what it is.
Well, I think everyone needs to stop by. And again, it's over by Lowe's. It's Hello Retail Therapy. Now, do you sell online as well? Are you there yet?
I don't. That is hopefully a plan soon, but for right now, I'm still honestly kind of getting used to being a brick and mortar. I know, actually, I feel like I'm kind of backwards because when I did more research, a lot of brick and mortar stores started online and then switched to a store.
But I think you have like a local mix, and because it's such a gifty shop, I think it's important to stay in your lane.
I think so too. And then honestly, most people that will shop quote unquote online, which is really over text message, are my friends that live out of town. So if people reach out to me and there's something they see on my social media and they live out of town and really want it, I will.
Key. And social media is the easiest. It's your fingertips to your community. So that's the smartest thing. And it's hard.
Yeah. That's probably been my biggest learning curve, honestly.
Consistency is key. I'm probably telling you stuff you already know.
No, please.
Same time, just posting as much as there's never too much.
Well, that's my worry. Do I do it too much? No. Like, I don't want to bombard people.
Because your people are your people. The people who stop following you because you post, they're probably not going to come to the shop anyway.
That's
Let them go. Goodbye.
No, you're right. That's
true. The people that are interested in what you're posting are your customers.
Yeah.
So you're right. I had to tell myself I would worry so much about the people who would go, but why am I not focusing on paying attention to the customers that I have and the people that are staying and that are diligent about coming in and paying attention? I started to shift my focus on what was there and stop focusing on what went away. And it was better for me mentally.
Right.
Too. And
that makes sense.
And it felt better.
Yeah.
But it's so easy to be like, why aren't they coming? Where are the people? Instead of, I am so happy that one person came by today.
Right.
Let's put a little more emphasis on them.
Let's
make them feel special, and then they'll talk more because they feel special, and then it's a ripple effect.
Yeah.
But that took me a long time to get.
Yeah.
I wish someone would have knocked me in the head and told me that. Okay, so thank you so much for coming on. I actually got a ton out of it, and I love that we had another Puller business on here. I love the direction that Puller is going. So it's so refreshing to have a local business owner there that has things that the community, excuse me, we are not talking well today. The community can pick up on a whim, but you have a lot of local, including Beettan, Savannah Bee, Fett with, Marguerite. I always want to say Marguerite's company. A lot of local stuff, so you can support locals, buy local in Puller. You don't have to come downtown Savannah.
Yeah. Which is, I think, what helps, like what people like that live in Puller. They're like, oh, I don't have to go downtown. Not that downtown's not great, but it's a pain when you have to go just to pick something up.
Right. So. And let's check out her social media page. She does not sell online, which I like. She's staying in her lane. She has little gifts. No, but I like that. I think that you can just go in and pick up local stuff. It just means you'll always have stuff in stock.
It's true.
Because it's not going to fly out the door.
Right.
Via website sales.
Yeah.
Which happens a lot with those local boutiques. They post about something, go in, and they sell them out online. So what you have is there.
Right. Correct.
So let us know how to find you on social media.
Yep. So I'm on Instagram. It's hello_retail therapy. I'm also on Facebook, just Hello Retail Therapy. And I dabble in TikTok. It's been a little bit rough. But that is also just Hello Retail Therapy.
Awesome.
So,
and she's off of Fuller Parkway in
Pine Barren,
which is near Lowe's, Costco. I can see it in my brain. So all of you guys that are right off of Fuller Parkway in the Savannah Quarters area, how great is it that you can go in and pick some local stuff up?
Yep.
Local brands from a local. Fuller needs it, and I appreciate that you're there, and I will definitely stop by soon.
Thanks so much for having me. This
Yes.
was not as nerve-wracking as I thought it would be.
No, you're a natural.